Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Talking about him.
How did I get on third base?
You mentioned his name.
If I mention a third baseman's name, who did I say is playing third?
No, who's playing first?
Stay off of first, will you?
Well, what do you want me to do?
Now, what's the guy's name on third base?
What's on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know.
He's on third.
There I go, back on third again.
Well, I can't change their names.
Will you please stay on third base, Mr. Broadhurst?
Please, now, what is it you want to know?
What is the fella's name on third base?
What is...
All right, guys, that was a little old school for you. If you don't know, it's who's on first. It's an
and what's on second. I don't know's on third.
Yes. Okay, I was wondering if y'all guys like, please. I hope they get this. I really hope they get this.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, great. It is an old Abbott and Costello bit from years ago. Yep. It's the most unintentionally hilarious thing that you can actually watch for the 2 or 3 minutes that it comes on. It'll make it confusing, but it is hilarious to watch. But anyway. Thank you guys for coming into the Say What podcast. I am tonight Dr. E.G.O, and I am joined by lovely guests, Mrs. Canoli Sasquatch and Jana Catania as well. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me. How are you all tonight?
Doing great.
All right. Ian, go ahead.
I'm good. I am so excited. This is Jana's first official stream, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much and willing to trust us with your first time being live and on camera. Thank you. Thank you
awesome.
So much. All right. So, guys, I know we're going to wind up talking about just hearing loss as well as processing disorder. Side little backtrack. I actually have a doctorate in audiology with hearing and balance disorders as well. So this is something I actually do for my job. That's why I have on the flash scrubs tonight. So
Oh,
yeah, I was trying to figure out if anyone saw what they were, but yeah, they're actually scrubs.
Very cool.
that is
Thank
really
Very
cool.
cool.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
wear black board. My scrubs are. Sorry, it's your month. I didn't mean to be rude. I wear just regular black Grey's Anatomy or Wink scrubs. Mine are very boring when I do wear scrubs to work. Yours, I could never compete. I like
thank
them.
you. I mean, I did get the Grey's Anatomy ones in like the turquoise.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But anyway,
They're
that's
very
it.
nice. They're very nice. Have you ever tried Winks?
I didn't even know that was a thing. Like I found out Grey's Anatomy like 2 weeks ago, so I am
Well,
very
Grey's
new to
Anatomy is
that.
kind of old. Winks is kind of in. The material's a little bit softer and they're a little bit more easy to move around in. I will send you a link for Winks so you could look at them, but they're very nice too.
Please do. Ever
Yeah.
since I figured I could wear scrubs to work, I'm like, I'm never wearing regular clothes to work again.
I know I've been wearing scrubs a little bit more lately to mine because I don't have to wear scrubs because I don't deal with patients directly. But on a Monday when you're tired, oof, scrubs are
Exactly.
nice. Yeah.
Fantastic. So there we are nerding out on scrubs. You can tell you both
Yes.
probably work in some form of healthcare.
Well, this is a nerd podcast anyway. We're talking about how we can't hear, and we're going to talk
Exactly.
about the science behind it. So if you don't like nerdy stuff, this isn't for you.
Exactly. So that's pretty much what we're going to wind up getting into. I'm just going to ask these lovely guests this evening how they've dealt with hearing loss. In addition to having a doctorate in audiology, I also have hearing loss too. So every time someone says, say what, after I tell them what I do, I always gets me. I always fall for it. I'm like, wait, was I not loud enough? Was I not clear enough? Should I speak slower? Should I speak deeper? Yeah, so anytime y'all do that and say, what did you say? I will inadvertently always fall for it. So that's part of what we'll talk about too, be of the funny stuff that actually happens with having hearing loss and processing disorders. So we'll go ahead and address the chat first, and then we will get into it. Jacob Ironside says that he'll watch on the replay. Thanks a lot, sir. We've got Lovelitical. Love Atletical, I think I
Love
got
it.
Love Atletical. There we go. Says
I
here to
can never
support the
say her
lovely
name
ladies.
either.
Here to support the lovely ladies. That is fantastic. I tried to do a face swap app and I look like an ugly woman. So that's right. I'll go with them. We've got Neri there and got Vex. Howdy. And we got Jillian Tutor. Thank you for
Yep.
joining us as
Oh,
well.
she knows what's up. She's watching mom and not dad.
She's like, you better
I'm
be
her
on
favorite
here.
parent. Yep.
Yeah, she can't wait to drop all the tea on the stories as well. At some point, she's going to have to stop in and say, hey, tell about this time. So I'm looking forward to that too.
Oh
And
gosh.
see, you already have a fan club, Jana. And
I want her on my female perspective. So I'm hoping that this gets her feet wet because you're the funniest person in everybody's chat. And like, I want to say that like, if you're in the chat, things are moving and you're just great. So it's a big honor.
I just figured I'm talking too much. So that's good to know.
No, please
never.
do. No, please keep going. Please do. Please do.
You are awesome.
Yes, please. I mean, it's a lot of fun. You know, Shiro's absolutely hooked. You know, she's too cool for school now with all her streams and everything. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, but yeah, I guess we'll just kind of, jump into it. Either one wants to answer first, you guys can. But I guess the main thing asking first is, when did you find out that you had trouble with, hearing or understanding other people? And, what were you noticing around that time?
You go first, Jana. You're the big guest here.
I was actually older. Like I was like in my probably early 20s. And I was noticing that I had to make everyone repeat themselves and a lot. And especially on the phone. I've had a lot of issues talking on the phone. And talking to actually Copa, and he was like he gets frustrated if he has to repeat himself enough times, and like 13 times repeating yourself is like a lot. So I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't normal. So I went and saw a doctor, and they basically said that I had an audible processing disorder. And yeah, we went from there. I mean, there was just a lot of understanding issues where I wasn't, especially like if there's any background noise going on,
Yeah.
it's like whoever's talking or whatever I'm trying to pay attention to is like a different language. It's just gibberish.
Okay. All right. And I guess Ms. Canola Sasquatch, you want to chime in with what you were noticing at your time?
So mine is actually more recent, and I don't know what happened. So I've been at my current job for almost 7 years, and I've known these group of girls. I worked with them before at another OBGYN before it kind of broke up and everybody went their separate ways. And so about 6 years ago, or so, a friend of mine that I work with, she would joke around. She's like, I wouldn't understand what she was saying or whatever, or I couldn't hear, or the distance between the front office and where I sit at my desk is not very far. Like the people at the front desk could talk to my nurse practitioner sitting next to me. And I have no idea I could not believe that she could hear what was being said. I was like, am I really this deaf? So my friend, I'm going to throw her name out here, Angela, because my friend Cynthia's watching. She actually made a comment about the scrubs, but she texted me. I guess there's a better brand. We'll talk about it later. Cool. Winks are out. Something else is in. Anywho, so she's like joking around. She's like, you need to get your hearing checked. And I'm like, oh, listen, I don't do anything for myself. And Juliana has some medical issues, and I was really going through it with her and her medical issues and taking care of her. And we were deep in it for the last couple of years. So there was really no time to deal with anything that needed to be dealt with me. So I'll tell you when it really, really, really hit me is COVID and the masks, because I would just read lips. And here's another thing too that I noticed, and please tell me if I'm talking too much. I tend to blab, but
No.
Okay. So I work in Arizona, and we have a lot of Indian patients, from India. So there is a language barrier already. And when I first started at this office, I worked the check-in desk because I needed a break from medical billing. I was over it for my last office. I needed so I dealt with patients face-to-face and then on the phone, scheduling these patients. Well, I was not used to their language, their broken English. Oh, thank you, Shiro. They're yellow. So this is what girls do, E.G.O. Sorry, we get distracted by things. So anyway, there were times where the accents were so strong and heavy, I would have to have a coworker take the call because I couldn't, I couldn't understand, and two, I couldn't hear. And then the face-to-face, I was able to be okay because I could read their lips.
Yeah.
Now, during COVID, I wasn't at the front desk anymore. So that was a saving grace. But whenever I did have to speak with the patients, it was hard. My coworkers would help me. I'm like, I can't hear what they're saying. It wasn't until probably several months ago, my boss was trying to talk to me with her mask on, and I'm this close to her, and I'm trying to hear her, and I literally was in tears. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't hear. Of course, like Jana said, Cannoli has had it. My daughter, if we're sitting next to each other and Cannoli says something, I go, what did he say? Or if we're out somewhere and somebody is talking to us like a sales associate, I'm like, what did she say? I always have to depend on her to help me hear. So I was crying. I'm like, I can't do this. But then I know I can't afford hearing aids, and I didn't want to go through the whole thing with a doctor. So I self-diagnosed, and I got almost like amplifiers, and I did the hearing test that comes with these on the app and decided what my ears needed. But that's my story. Mine is more recent, within the last 7 years, but it's really bad. I can't watch anything without closed caption. I suffer a lot on the phones. Like Jana said, I don't want to take phone calls. My patient phone calls, especially since everything is outsourced. My insurance companies, everything is outsourced. And so the language barrier and then not being able to hear, it's really depressing, and it's really starting to take its toll. Sorry, that was such a long story to get there, but that was kind of my more recent journey as to where I'm at now. But I've just noticed, I think these might actually be doing a disservice, because when I take them off, I feel like I hear less than I did before I started using these, if you will.
Yeah.
So
Oh, so,
yeah.
yeah. I
Sorry,
don't
that was
bash
long.
anyone for trying to figure. That's fine. It's actually, I mean, so these are like these are typically how my points go anyway. So I'm appreciative of people that tell me everything that they can instead of just saying I can't hear. That I want to
Yeah.
uppercut you like more Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat. If you just say why are you like what's going on? I can't hear. It's like I know that. Please
And you know
explain more.
what's really sad is like when you're at work and your coworkers know you can't hear, or if I'm charging them during lunch because they only last 4 freaking hours at a time, and they take their mask off so I can read their lips. I mean, that's how sweet my coworkers are, but that's sad.
Yeah.
It's
I didn't
pretty-
realize how much I was relying on like lip reading until COVID though. Like
Me too.
It
Me
was
too.
something I just did subconsciously, and
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
realize
yeah.
it until it's taken away from you, and then if you got the soft speakers, the mumblers. Now
Yes.
cannoli. Yeah, she's right. They're semi hearing aids. They're not the best option for you, but cannoli is so over it. He mumbles anyway. He's hard to hear anyway, and if I don't hear the first time, he's like, forget it, and I'm like that. It hurts my feelings. I'm not doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
We know men don't listen to us because they just don't want to. Sorry, Ego. I'm just
No,
kidding.
it's fun. There's always an option. I know
I
that
know.
if she's in the next room, if she says what, I can ignore it, and I can have plausible deniability that I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Then she comes around, she's like, "I know you heard me. Go put on your hearing aids." I was like, "Okay, fine, you caught me."
And you know what I wanted to bring up too, looking at you with your headphones. You
Mhm.
have your hearing aids in, right?
Not right now. No. Like if
Oh.
I have a direct input, I'm fine. Like I can Bluetooth my hearing aids into this. It's just the fact that the hearing aids aren't as good as noise canceling as these are, which is the usual comparison with everyone. They say, why can't hearing aids be like Bose headphones or the Apple AirPods?
Because you don't want them to be, because I have them
Right.
and I can't use these when I pick up a phone at work. That's the
Right.
problem. I
Right.
can't. So these don't do me any good except for hearing what's around me. And it's amazing and I'll tell you what, the gossip I miss out on at work. They were telling me a story yesterday at work and I got it so wrong. And then I finally pieced it together and they're all laughing at me because I didn't have my hearing aids in.
So I understand. And my profession is 80% women. I cannot afford to miss out on any. Oh yeah, it's completely.
Why do you think that is?
Because I would say it's the emotional aspect of dealing with hearing loss. Most guys probably wouldn't want to deal with it, and the fact that you don't wind up falling into my profession on purpose. Like the biggest, we're in a group for audiologists, and the question that has the most answers is, what would you do if you weren't in our profession? Because no one really goes into it willingly. Like I fell into it because I was pre-med and med school didn't work out. It just so happens that I had hearing loss at the same time that it was going on. And they were like, well, you already see these doctors anyway. Why don't you actually just see what it's like? And it actually worked out. So, I mean,
why don't you tell us what happened with you? How come, when did you experience your hearing loss?
I was like 18 when it happened, but it was like, my mom was the one that picked it up, but I'm like the oldest of 4 boys. So I thought it was just, we would sit in the back seat of our van and I was like, okay, well, I'm not supposed to hear 2 rows up. So what does it matter? And so it got to the point where I would have issues with, I'd have, my ears would be full, they'd have ringing. And so they tested my hearing and they said I had hearing loss, but it was only in one ear. So I'm like, well, if this one's good and this one's just okay, I'm fine. So I got a hearing aid, but I didn't really wear it. And so I missed out on like a lot of college gossip and I lost out on a lot of dates. And so by the time, it's okay though. I had like a 13-inch perm. I wore shoes that were 3 sizes too large.
I know. I heard your story on Sunday. You were a hot mess.
Yeah, I had a gold chain. It was a lot going on with the dog.
So did Cannoli.
It was too much.
Nice. Cannoli had the gold chain too. It's okay.
Okay. All right. It was a weird thing. So anyway, after I graduated college, I was starting grad school. And the first year was hard enough, but I went back to study for the MCAT to take it over again, and the hearing got worse. So I would start having balanced attacks, like I'd stand up and fall back down. Like the room would spin. Yeah, like my ears would feel full. They would ring really badly, and so I had to get like I had to get CAT scans, MRIs, blood tests, which by the way was terrible because it was like they called me 3 days after the blood test and they were like, they did something called like a flat ABS test. Like I don't know what kind of blood test it is. Like, have you ever been tested for syphilis before? I was like, do you get to have sex to have syphilis, doctor? I think that's a negative. You should retest that. And the thing is, it wasn't me that said it. It was my mom, which made it worse. I was like, wait. I was like, they said they have syphilis. Like, no, doctor, that possibly can't be. He hasn't had any sex.
Oh my God.
Okay.
How
I was like, you know
embarrassing.
what? Yeah, I was like, you know what? This is the good kind of embarrassing, but it doesn't change the fact that like if you get one of those tests, it doesn't stop the health department from calling your house
No, it's
and
true.
putting a sign on your door saying, "Look, you got something wrong. You should call us ASAP." So they did all the tests, and then they figured out. I went to go see an ear, nose, and throat doctor, and he told me, he said, "Well, what did you have for dinner last night?" I was like, "I had Chinese food." He's like, "All right, what'd you have the day before that?" I said, "Pizza." He's like, "Oh, well, I know you probably have Meniere's disease." So Meniere's disease is this weird disease that they almost diagnose by exclusion, which means that you've got fluids in your inner ear that are separated by a membrane, right? And if I have too much salt, the membrane kind of disappears and the fluids mix they're not supposed to. And when they mix, your ears get really full. You have balance issues. Your ringing in your ears or tinnitus gets really loud, and you start to have hearing loss that gets worse. So once they told me that, they're like, well, hey, if you drink enough water, you try to exercise, wear hearing aids, and keep your stress low, you'll be fine. I said I can do 3 out of 4 because I'm in grad school and going to doctorate school. Stress is going to be what it's going to be. So ever since then, it's been better. I haven't had any balance issues. Please don't talk about my velvet tracksuit, honey. Don't. It was weird. Yeah.
If anybody wants to hear, just go catch their show that they had on Sunday, Ordinary Gains, on E.G.O's channel. You'll get a full description of E.G.O back in the day, and it was very, very.
It was very colorful.
It just, I can't. There's no words, but you should check it out. Yeah,
there really weren't. So I mean. So actually having it and actually wearing the product makes it a lot easier to talk to people about it just in general. But I mean, as far as what you are experiencing, I can kind of explain that. And I'm pretty sure, Jen, they probably told you this. So the thing is, you both have the same thing that's going on, if I'm guessing correctly. So when you have normal hearing, you go from your outer ear, hits the eardrum, goes to the middle ear bones, goes to the snail-shaped organ of hearing, and there's a nerve that goes from there up to your brain. So pretty much when you have normal hearing, when someone says something, you hear something, it's like that whole process of the outer, middle, and inner ear is like going from a 4-lane highway to a 4-way off-ramp, no problems. Every car has its own lane. You can hear it, understand it, process it, respond, no problem. When you've got hearing loss or you've got processing disorders, it's like going from a 4-lane highway to a 2-way highway with 0 off-ramps. Things can kind of get jumbled up. So the fact that like, hey, I'm trying to figure out what the third word of that entire sentence says that make the entire sentence make sense. You're on to sentence 3. And the reflex is just say what or huh, when I'm not trying to say what or huh to the entire thing. I'm just trying to hear that one word that makes the entire thing make sense.
Connect.
And and it can be even worse when you're in background noise because the cues that you have are taken away and you might not have any context. So, I mean, I know that's what kind of can be the issue when you have hearing loss or processing disorder. The only thing that's different in Jana's case is if Jana took a hearing test right now, it would become up completely normal, which can be very confusing for someone to say, hey, you can't understand, but you can hear normally. They'd even go so far as to say you have super hearing or supersonic hearing, which makes it even more irritating or even frustrating to know. It just means that basically if I tested you for beeps, you respond within the normal range, but it doesn't take into the fact that the processing is a little bit slower to get there. There's a slight delay between hearing it, understanding it, or repeating it back or understanding it when you're in background noise. And that's typically what I guess the 3 of us have in common is that we all have trouble in this situation.
Can I ask you a question?
Go right ahead. Yeah.
What causes this to just happen all of a sudden? Like none of us have, like nobody shot a gun next to my ear and I lost hearing. I didn't go to a rock concert. Like it just happened. And why does, I mean, from a doctor's standpoint, why does it just happen? What changed in my in my head.
The 4 that I would typically give are, it's either you have a family history of it somewhere.
Okay.
There's usually trauma, which is a no here. Medication is the other one that I could think of,
Okay.
or it sucks to say it, it's age related, even though it's technically like I was 18, so age related may or may not factor. So the
And
only
I
ones
was
that I
like
could think.
30,
Go ahead.
probably 36, 30. Yeah, 36 when it started to happen. So, I mean, that's not terribly old,
It's
but I'm
not.
just curious, like, there's nothing that I can remember going, oh, that happened. That totally
Right.
makes sense why I have hearing loss. It just started to happen. And I remember the first time somebody said something to me. I remember who I was talking to, but I don't remember what led up to it.
Mhm.
And I just know that it progressively got worse, and I just blew it off, like I said, till COVID happened. And then you really realized how hearing impaired you are because your lip reading was taken away. But
Yep.
I don't know what happened. And here's the thing too that I wanted to bring up.
Mhm.
I need to get a hearing test, which is fine because I really want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
However, I feel like, much like anything in the medical field, why is everything so friggin' expensive? It's so expensive to want to hear right. Like
It
it's
is.
under my insurance deductible. It's like a couple $1,000s, and it's like that sucks.
I will say this. Wait, best way I can explain it in terms of like with hearing aids is the fact that there are one of 2 ways that they'll do it. They'll do it
Hmm.
well, they'll bundle everything together, or they'll kind of unbundle everything. So it's like if you went to Best Buy and you bought a computer and they'd be like, hey, well, this laptop can either be $700 or $1,000. Well,
Right.
okay, I'll take $700. Well, $700 means that when you leave the store, if anything happens after that 30 days, you're on your own. So every time you
Oh,
have to come back for that laptop to get it fixed, reprogrammed, well, hey, we're charging you $50 here, 150 there, and after a time it adds up. So what they'll say is, hey, you can buy it for $1,000, and that'll include like the total care package with it that you can come in anytime during our business hours, and we'll fix it, no problems asked.
you have to get
And there's
hearing aids tweaked? Like you have to get
oh
them
yeah,
reprogrammed? Oh, see,
yeah.
I did see, I'm uneducated. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I thought you just got hearing aids and see you later.
No, no, no. Like the thing is, if it were that simple, like there really wouldn't be a hearing aid business at all, because your
Mm.
hearing loss in general is progressive.
No, that's true.
And
That's stupid then. Yeah, you're right.
no, I mean the hearing aids are only as good as the last test.
Yeah.
So if you've had hearing aids for 3 years and you haven't had them clean checked or adjusted, well, it's no wonder that you're having trouble. You might have wax in your ears, hearing aids may not be clean, or they may just need to be reprogrammed because your hearing's changed. And
Mm.
Yeah.
so, yeah,
And
they're a
yeah, just
lot
like
like
vision. Yeah.
glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh
so,
yeah, yeah. I mean that. See, and that's the funny thing is, I go get my eyes checked every year. I have to wear glasses for certain things and whatnot, and I'm okay with that. But I don't understand why I'm so weird about. Not that I'm like don't want to. I just I don't know. I got to
it's
get
a
my life
hard,
together.
I mean, I tell everyone it takes about 7 years generally between knowing you have hearing loss and wanting to do something about it. I mean,
Well, I'm at
like I
the
said,
7 year mark, so maybe I should fly out and just see you. It probably well, actually, that would be more expensive than just buying damn hearing aids
I will
coming to
say
see you.
this: the place where I work has 700 locations. Like we'll talk off camera,
Oh,
and I'll
okay,
yeah, I'll
cool.
tell you, how it works. It's just that
Okay, good.
yeah, the main thing is they're trying to tell everyone that the hearing aids cost because they bundle all the services, and
Okay.
depending where you go, they'll say, well, hey, even though you might be paying like $2,000 or $1,000 more than you normally would someplace else, well, let's say you wind up in Texas, and
Yeah.
the hearing aid breaks. You pull up to them. It's like, hey, look, it's broken. Look my name up. It's Mrs. Kelly Sasquatch.
Yeah.
I broke one of the wires. Can you fix it? Well, sure. I saw that you paid the total package, covered, no problem. And
Oh, yeah, I
so,
didn't think of that. Okay, that's very helpful because I'm so uneducated about how this. I just figured you get something and it helps you hear, and that's it.
no, I mean that's why I tell you it's. I really wish I could reach people earlier in this,
Yeah.
because there's a point at which there's a test that you do take where, Jenny, this they'd say the word and you just repeat the last word you hear. They were like, hey,
Yeah.
say the word duck, duck, say the word tan, tan. So that test is supposed to be done in the best case scenario. It's like, well, hey, you're in a booth, it's sound treated, and I'm going to say this word in one ear, and all you have to repeat is the last word. And depending on how you do like that, it's like, well, hey, I'm letting you know in the best case scenario, you only understood like 70% of what's being said. Like that's kind of your floor for this. So, hey, the longer you go with hearing loss and you leave it untreated, that understanding starts to drop. And that's not something that we can help you with. Like that's why they do all, I don't know if they've told you about the whole hearing loss and dementia studies. Like that's how they found out. Like your brain actually shrinks because you don't give it that amount of what's I'm looking for?
Stimulation.
Activity. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, great. So
So-
now I'm going to be deaf and not remember anything.
All I'm saying is that there is a window.
I might be better off. The way this world is going, I might be better off not
gonna say,
knowing
it
what
may
the
not be
hell's
a bad
going on.
thing.
No, it might not be.
No, I mean, so it's you do have options. My goal is just to let you know what the options are. The only
Yeah.
thing that can suck is if you get a shitty audiologist and they're out there. And that's the
Yeah.
issue. Is like by the time you run into me, you said I've seen several other audiologists. They either don't wear the product or don't know what they're talking about, don't know what they're doing. So me, it's like, well, hey, I'd like to give you all three so you know exactly what you're walking into and be like, Dr. E.G.O said you're full of shit. Like that's not how this works. So,
Right.
I mean, I guess, Jenna, did they tell you like if there were any options for you at that point or?
At that time, I feel like they tried to get me onto some program, like a focusing
Oh, yeah.
thing. Like it was they were basically just like try and focus. Like I don't remember there being a whole lot of options. Again, I mean, when I was like 20, probably.
Okay. So it was last year. I understand.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so sweet.
You are so sweet. Yeah, so I mean, I probably should go back, but especially, I mean, I've kind of self-diagnosed myself with hyperacusis as well, so I mean, it would probably.
Yeah.
What's that? What's that?
It's like hypersensitive to sounds, and they're very specific. Like people, if you open up a bag of chips or you start chewing, like it will make you go through the roof with how irritated you get with that
Yeah,
sound.
it causes migraines for me, and
what particular sounds do that for you? Do you know?
White noise is a big one. Like the sound of the fan in my car, if it's up too high, like it drives me absolutely bonkers. Like it's unfortunate for Pete or for Copa because
no kidding.
He has to deal with that in the car, but or I mean just the ceiling fan, things like that. It's
I had no idea. That's awful.
Very specific range. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the one thing I tell patients not to do is don't wear earplugs because it'll make it worse. It's just it's the weird. Yeah, it's because it bounces back even louder because you deprive yourself of the sound. So when you hear it again, it's like through the roof loud, and it makes it even worse.
Yeah, I actually got a couple kinds of earplugs and thinking that was going to help me, and it definitely very quickly I learned that was happening, and it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean if you get a chance to go, let me know how it turns out. I mean, I had a few patients that do have it. They have done well with hearing aids. They don't necessarily amplify anything, but they help you with more of like the auditory focus of things, but especially with cutting down the background noise if you're ever in those situations. So if you ever do decide to go back, or you let me know where you guys are, I'll try to find someone that can be in the area too. I wanted to get to this because Nosferatu asked, since you all have hearing loss, do you all know sign language to an extent? I've always wanted to learn. Whichever one, ladies, you want to go first?
I always wanted to learn too.
I know this one. That's it.
No, I could probably do like part of the alphabet still, but that's about as far as it goes.
I wish I did. And my friend at work, the girl who told me I need to get my hearing checked, my coworker actually does know sign language. So it's, not that I wouldn't want to learn it, but I don't know if my family would be willing to sign with me, because then who the hell would I be signing to? I'd be signing to myself. So I'm interested in it, but I don't know if it would make a difference for what I'm dealing with. But yeah.
All right. Nosferatu, I will actually tell you a story about that. So I did take a sign language class when I was in my third year for audiology, and it's pretty fun once you get into it and you start knowing the actual signs for something, especially when you know all the bad words. You can just curse someone out.
Yeah, that would be fun.
You're like, hey, you were great. It's like, that's fuck you. But anyway, so what happened was Yeah, she has been. We have to take we need to take a class at this point. But
Aw, that's
what
sweet though.
it
That'd be
is, I
cool.
mean, I mean, the thing is, it would take the I guess the difficulty of hearing or having to hear for both of us off her, because what happened was we went to a diner like a year into us being together, and so she knew that I had hearing loss, and so went to this small diner in I think it was Croydon, Pennsylvania, like out near Northeast Philly, and so because when you meet new people, you try to guess what they're going to say, especially when you're at a restaurant, because you don't know how the person's going to speak, how fast they're going to speak, how soft or deep they're going to speak. So you try to guess and you try to memorize what you think they're going to say. And so I'm looking, I was like, I have, Shiro's given her order. I'm like, okay, well, I said I was going to get eggs and toast. So obviously that means she's going to ask if I want sides, and what side do I want is bacon. So I heard what I thought her say was, and what side do you want? I turn her dead or look her dead in the eye, and I'm like, bacon, and look back at the menu, and she was like, honey, she asked, did you want any water? I was like, I see. I said, well, obviously I would like water, but if it's not bacon flavored. And so
Oh, you poor thing.
yes, she's look at their lips. It's weird. I don't want to be staring. It's weird,
I
especially with
know
the
it is
last guy.
awkward. It is
Yeah.
awkward.
So now, like help me is when you just put your thumb here and then go back. Help me and then help you is this way. So instead of saying help, I told her like, hey, the sign language for bacon is this. You just two fingers and wave. So bacon is my way of saying help. I need help because I don't understand what this is. I'll just look at her and just be like, hey, I don't get it. And she's like, okay, well, hey, she said, what did you want to order with your side? And I thought I was doing great until like a week and a half ago. We go out to the salt grass, and this guy who I swear to God has a Dick Dastardly mustache. So you didn't want to have to look, but it was there to look at. And so again, I'm guessing it's like, okay, well, obviously she's like, hey, there's shrimp. And I was like, okay, there's shrimp cocktail and there's fried shrimp. So I'm like, okay, obviously is he asking me, do you want what kind of shrimp I want? I look him dead in the eye. I'm like, hot. He was like, honey, he knows that. He said, did you want grilled or fried?
Aw, poor E.G.O.
I was like, there goes another radio moment. I was like, you know what, bacon. She's like, honey, just grilled or fried? I was like, grilled. So yeah, she thought it was the funniest thing ever. Those are the two that stand out for her. So we need to go back and actually do a sign language class together, because that would actually be very informational and it would be very helpful too. Hail chat panel. The interesting thing about the deaf community is it's number one, it's very small, and they actually choose it that way. They actually will go out to seek other people that are deaf so they can kind of preserve the culture that way. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen Deaf U on Netflix. It really is like that. And the sign
I've
language.
heard that's a really good show. It's
is
true to form. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and the thing is like when they talk about cochlear implant, you actually put two fingers back behind your ears, and I asked what that means. Like this actually means venom. Like they consider getting a cochlear implant poison because you're turning your back on the deaf community. So it's a very interesting.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like when you spell deaf, you have to use a capital D because it's its own thing. Yeah. It's yeah. So if you ever watch that, I mean, it's very sign language is very versatile. Yeah, it's very expressive too. Like when you watch when you go to the concerts and they're doing all the expressiveness with it, it happens. Which is why when that one guy was doing a funeral and he was just like, people with hearing loss or were deaf were like, no, he's full of shit because he's not expressing anything at all. So, but yeah, sign language and that is very fun as well on there. But I guess we kind of talked about it a little bit, but since the self-diagnosis or the testing, how has it affected, I guess your interactions with others, especially, with Copa and with Mr. Cannoli Sasquatch?
Go ahead. You can go first.
It's helped me. Well, it's helped Copa more because he knows I'm not just not listening to him. Like it's actually just I'm having issues. Like I want to hear you. I want to understand what you're saying, And it did. I mean, you said it earlier. It usually is just like one word that I missed, and it's like no. So sometimes if knowing that, like I will just repeat everything, like, and then fill in the blank here for me, like.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Because that way it's not. I don't need you to repeat the whole thing. I just need that one word again, please. But it's also helped me kind of understand why I'm not understanding certain things, and can kind of take a step back and or warn people like, hey, I might need you to repeat. Like my just like you, Mrs. Cannoli. My employees are like very, very supportive of, and patient with having to repeat themselves or talking to me at my face, so I can get their understanding.
See, and you miss only like a word or so, which is great. I miss sentences. There's a lot of stuff like I just can't hear, and I don't know why. I can't even like get the gist of what somebody is saying because I'm not even hearing enough words to put together
Oh.
of what it is. And I was going to say, so I pulled up my app, and this is the self-diagnosing that I did. And
Okay.
it says that I have 32% in my left ear and 34% in my right ear.
I am sorry. I hate those. I hate
I
that
know.
reading out.
I know.
It's not that. It's just the fact that when you do when you do the word test is in percentage. So it's like, well, hey, how can I have 32% in my right ear and I got 99% of the words correct?
Yeah.
It gets confusing. That's why I'm saying if you
That's why I need to get a hearing test, because if I'm not hearing full sentences and people are having like, there's a lot of times, and this is really embarrassing. There's so many times that I just say okay and just agree or just laugh because I know they're saying something that's supposed to be funny. And it's sad because like I said, I know I'm missing out on a lot, and I wish it was just a word that, and I could be like, okay, I think that's what they're trying to say. I don't know. It's getting to the point now where I need to go and actually have it professionally diagnosed. I need to see how bad things are, because I know that this is just a temporary fix right now, but I am missing full conversations.
Yeah, I think at this point
from my boss, like
the
the doctor who owns my company, owns the practice, will be talking to me about something, and she's trying to be soft spoken. She's got a mask on, and even with my hearing aids on,
nothing.
I can't hear it. So, yeah, I'm in a tough spot. I would say it's really getting to me. I think a lot. I'm frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point you're ready with, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. So at least you're ready to do something about it. I mean, I'm pretty sure if it were a few years ago, it'd be like, well, hey, it's only this or it's only that. I'll be okay until I get sick and tired of being sick and tired. So, I mean, you do want to know, especially if, how it's affecting you, especially with, if you're in background noise or situations like that, but to also know, hey, is one ear better than the other? Does that mean, so that means like, this is my preferred side. So my right, ironically, the right eye is not great, but the right ear is. So she was always on the right side. She's my blind side, and she also knows that I can hear a lot better on that side. So if it's good enough to at least see where you stand, so that you know what your results are, regardless if you decide to move forward with hearing aids or not. What does she got here? And do you just say yeah or laugh because you feel embarrassed or you don't want to inconvenience anyone?
All the time. I do that more than I'd like to admit. I'm telling you, I miss out on so many things because I'm too embarrassed to say I can't hear you. Or like, it's like I said, it makes me want to cry. I'm so frustrated with that right there. It's exactly
I don't know. I don't know how many things I've agreed to. Not knowing.
I know. You're absolutely right. Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
I definitely understand that. I mean, that is. Oh, Dr. Danes, I have to bring her on next time, dude. So Accipiter's wife, Dr. Danes, we actually went to the same school together. And she's got hearing loss too. So if we do another Say What stream, what hearing wearing hearing aids is like, I'm gonna have her back on. I didn't know how comfortable she was gonna be on stream, dude. Like, tell her next stream she's in. Just let me know what days work for her. We'll set this whole thing up.
If Jana can do it, so can she.
Oh yeah, definitely. But we got here. Excuse me, really need to go away. It's debilitating to many, even social cues. Yes, I
Agreed.
will say that a vast
Yeah.
majority of the patients that I've gotten have all been because they knew how bad their hearing was because of COVID. And so, yeah, it was very terrible to take away those cues. And the interesting thing is the fact that we actually had to make programs specifically for people wearing masks because the hearing aids that they were wearing weren't accounting for that during COVID. So that's what I mean. They're actually trying to catch up a lot with just they're keeping up with everyone's lifestyle now. Hearing aids that are out now, they're Bluetooth, so you can listen to phone calls through them. Depending on what kind of phone line you work on at your work, you can actually plug into them, so you can actually answer the phone with the hearing aids.
You can actually. We just got a new fancy phone
That's cool.
system, and you can. It has Bluetooth capability, and there might be an option. Here's what I want in a perfect world. I want hearing aids where I can hear, that I can answer my phone at work, and then I can listen to my audio books, because I want to be able to do all of that, because I would utilize them. Oh, and that the battery lasts more than 4 hours at a time.
I will say
do
this.
they make that stuff to do
my
all that
batteries
together?
My batteries last 26 hours.
Oh,
wow.
Damn.
Shiro's pissed at me half the time because I'm streaming an audiobook, YouTube, or some kind of stream.
That's good. That's good, because I love to audiobook during the day when I'm, not having to answer the phone, but I like to be able to, because right now to answer the phone, I have to take it out. And then I have one in where I can hear what's going on. And then I'm on the phone so I can hear the phone, but I'm always pushing the volume up on the phone. I know it's not going to go any higher. I still can't hear. So yes, I would love something that does everything. And then, I guess, I can't be stingy about the money because it's worth the investment. But if I could find something where I could, they would offer like a payment plan where you didn't have to come up with a big chunk all at once. I think that I would definitely be interested in something like that.
They do. I'm going to write it in here in the chat so everyone can see what they are. Plans for hearing aids via Care Credit and...
Oh, yeah, Care. Okay.
Yeah, so Care Credit will cover like vet bills, hearing aids, and dental work too.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's true. I know that we don't take Care Credit at my office, and people get so pissed. But you have to have like a special contract with them, and you have to pay a percentage to take the card. It's a whole thing.
So depending on when you get approved for Care Credit, they'll do like 24 months, no interest. And so it's like, well, hey, I know that I think that we're running it right now where I am till like the end of the month or into next month. But yeah, Care Credit's the usual one that they'll use on there. It's just like, hey, as long as you pay for it within that time frame, it's not going to be any interest on that. And so
that would make it doable for me than coming up with that chunk of change. And I want to say that is the reason why I haven't done it sooner, is the financial aspect of it. I'm going to be honest. It overwhelms me to think about how much it costs so I can hear, but then it's stupid to say that I'm putting a price on my hearing.
I will say this, and they usually don't tell you this. When it comes to the aspect of hearing aids, they'll usually try to tell you like, hey, I recommend like the top of the line for everyone. Top of the line is going to be like $8,000, right?
Okay.
I tell everyone's like, hey, look, they're just like everything. There are 3 levels. I said, hey, there are hearing aids for people that just want to watch TV when they go to the doctor, and for the occasional family member. That's really it. There are patients to say, hey, look, at 10 o'clock, I got brunch with 12 people. Noon, I've got a boardroom meeting. 4 o'clock is happy hour. 7 o'clock is nightcap at a house party, right? They need top of the line because their lifestyle is constantly moving, a lot of background noise almost all the time. People can be okay in the middle. Hey, I'm not necessarily out every day.
I'd be in the middle. I'd be in the middle.
So that's what I would go with. Tell them like, hey, that's your lifestyle. Like, hey, I'm out maybe twice a week at a restaurant, max. Things can get busy towards the holidays, but otherwise it's just me, my husband, the kid. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that, based on that, they'll kind of give you the hearing aids that are in that price range. All you really need are hearing aids that fit your lifestyle and really nothing more.
Yeah.
And between those 3, it's just like, well, hey, this one has hearing for more difficult listening situations and more background noise. The ones that are towards, the more entry level, they'll be loud enough and clear enough for you. They'll still be Bluetooth. They're rechargeable. You'll
That's
get
what
a
I
lot of
want.
options with it. Right. All
If
three
I'm
of
going
those
to do it, I
levels
want to
typically
do
have
it
that.
all. I want to be able to utilize them to the fullest because it's important to me to be able to have everything in one. Like I said, if I'm going to spend the money, I want to be able to hear when I'm not listening to my Bluetooth, and I want to be able to answer the phone at work and be able to hear what they're saying, hear, a person that speaks a different language and there's a language barrier, like to know that that's an option. It makes it very intriguing to want to just go
Oh yeah.
and I got to get it done. Maybe it's because now talking to you and you can tell me maybe who I should go to or where you recommend. I think I would feel better than just trying to figure it out
Blindly
myself. I
going.
like
Yeah.
recommendations. Yeah, recommendations always make me feel better about stuff that is expensive and a little bit scary because like I said, I think I'm doing myself a disservice with these amplifiers that I'm using.
Yeah, I will, and that's why I try to tell everyone, like, I don't blame certain people for trying. The only
Yeah.
problem is when you try to treat them like readers, there's going to be a certain percentage of people that get along just fine with them, and some people
Hmm.
that say, I wouldn't even look in that direction because everything I want, it has to be diagnosed by a doctor, so at least someone with an expertise is telling me.
Right.
All I
Right.
say is, at some point, it's whatever you're using isn't going to work, and you're gonna want someone to at least tell you what's going on. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so Shira was saying, do you recommend over-the-counter ones at all? Please don't do that. Please. I would say if you can, please don't. The
Well,
main
what
reason,
do you consider over the counter? These are over the counter then,
yes, I would say if you
technically.
can, please don't.
Yeah.
Because the only thing is because so it happened like in 2016, 2017. There was a big hoopla in my field. Everyone was losing their mind saying, oh my God, we're going to go out of business because everyone's going to go over the counter. Basically, over the counter means these amplifiers that you have are programmed for minimal loss up into moderate, which is huge. It's like 40 decibels, really
And
large.
this is what I'm using over the counter. And I'm going
Right.
to tell you guys right now, it's not the best. It's frustrating.
Right.
I'm not getting what I need. I'll
Right.
tell you, they were fine in the beginning, but now I'm noticing they're not enough.
Right. And that's where I say I don't try to dunk on anyone for at least trying, but if you ask me, I will tell you. And
Yeah.
so the issue with them is the fact that, hey, you did self-diagnose,
Yes, I
but you
did.
don't know what the response is on the amplifiers because they're amplifiers. They could be over amplifying where you
Mm.
don't need it and not amplifying enough where you actually need it.
I actually agree with you because I do feel like it's not, like I said, it's not what it's supposed to be. I'm not hearing like I should be hearing.
Right.
And I bet you when I get hearing aids, I'm going to be so pissed that I waited so long.
But that's the good thing is the fact that once the minute you hear an inkling of someone else telling you what you've experienced, you're gonna cut that right off. Like, no, go see somebody. Don't wait
Yeah.
too long. You don't want
Yeah.
to miss out on life in general. I tell everyone wearing hearing aids doesn't make you old.
No,
Having
I
people
don't give a
repeat
shit. I don't
themselves,
care at all. Like my
yeah,
boss at work, the one that not the doctor, but my practice administrator, she is like a little bit older than me, and she wears hearing aids that hide in your ear. But the reason why she lost her hearing is because she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So
yeah.
that was her hearing loss, but she wears her hearing aids. They're hooked up to her phone as well, and she loves them. But you can't even see them. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am not vain. If you can see my hearing aid, I don't care. At least I can hear what you're saying. I don't care. It does not bother me.
Yeah, only people that actually will notice are people that wear hearing aids. They'll be like, "Ooh, where'd you get yours?" So,
Exactly. Yeah.
the main thing I tell everyone, I actually just threw it in the chat here, is that there are basically 6 major manufacturers across the world, and
Okay.
each of these have at least 50 years, if not over 120. So you at least want to see if they've got one of those 6. Like, I've worn every major manufacturer, I've worn every style of hearing aids you could think of. Everyone always asks me what's the best ones. The best ones are the ones you're gonna wear. Tell you the truth.
That's true. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, everyone's got their own. All manufacturers have their way of, hey, we like to make things sharp, or hey, we like to make things loud for you. But overall, once you try them, you'll get a sense of how everything sounds for you. But like I said, off camera, I can always tell you like what my experiences have been with different major manufacturers.
Yeah.
Don't want to put them out on blast online because they do a
Right.
lot to help you out. But
Yeah.
I will say like I've never really had to pay for hearing aids since I got into the field, which is the side
No,
benefit
that's
of it.
amazing. But you shouldn't
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
There's certain
No.
things working for a doctor's office that have always been perks for me as
Right.
well. And
Right.
it's just you shouldn't have to pay for them. That should be one of the perks. You worked your ass off to get into that field. It's the least they can do.
Exactly. So and it's like it doesn't, but it doesn't stop me from saying like, should I wear what you're wearing? I'm like, for your loss, these probably wouldn't be best for you, or you need a different manufacturer
Mhm.
or a different style. So, I will say whatever you guys ask me off camera, I'll let you know on that one. But at least you want to see if they've got those 6, at least somewhere in the office.
So
Typically, they'll at least
these are brands of hearing aids that you posted.
yes, those 6
Okay.
are the major ones. They basically do business all over the world, but each one
Okay.
of them has a at least an American corporate office in America someplace.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
so yeah, and I've been to a few of them, so they all pretty much
Cool.
work generally the same way. It's just they have different responses depending on what kind of hearing loss you have. So they're usually very great for that. So I mean, I guess I'll double check the chat on this one. They, Shiro and Exhibitor have been roasting me, rightfully so. I'm sorry, Dr. Danes. Again, we're gonna have to get you on for part 2. All right. So Ari Snow says, I'm so glad you are covering this. I was deaf as a child. Wow. Now some issues with processing. Now I can hear.
Wow.
Hearing aids are wonderful right now. Exactly. The one thing you notice is what things are like when you don't have them. So that'll freak you out when you you're not hearing someone. You're like, wait, oh my God, thank God. I just left my hearing aids on the charger. Let me go get them. Or as Shiro said, if you don't get your damn hearing aids right now.
Sometimes I have to tell people at work if they're starting to have a conversation. I'm like, wait, let me put my hearing aids in because I can hear better. But I know, like I said, it could be a lot better than it is. But you're right. I'm saying the same thing. I'm like, I don't have my hearing aids in. I can't hear you. Hi, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like I said,
Hey, Tyler.
I'll talk to you off camera and just let you know like what options are available for what you're looking for. I mean, honestly, hearing aids are so advanced. If it weren't for state regulations, if you had hearing aids, I could actually log into your hearing aids and adjust them from Texas.
Wow.
Like so, yeah, that's how big
That
they've
is
gotten with it.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there we go. That's the one thing. We were together 6 months and she pulled that on me. If y'all have seen Sister Act 2, she called me Alma, stomped on the ground at a grocery store and said, turn your pack up. I was like, you know what? She is a keeper. I was like, she is definitely a keeper now.
Yep. I like that.
So, but honestly, the only reason I know that I have to adjust my hearing aids is because Shiro's saying you're not hearing me. So that means it's an adjustment. And although I'm not supposed to tell y'all this, whenever I have wax in my ears, she's the one that gets it out. So, she's aware.
Listen, first of all, I'm not supposed to be telling anybody this, but there was a while, I'm a really weird character, as you could tell. And I watch really weird things to fall asleep. Right now I'm on ASMR hair brushing.
Huh.
There's this girl on TikTok. She's so amazing. And she whispers. It's not creepy at all. It's kind of creepy because she uses a mannequin head. But my point is, I used to watch ear wax removal videos like it was nothing.
Very rewarding.
I loved watching people get their ears cleaned. I'm sick. I'm sick.
No.
I'm sorry.
When I learned how to do this, like it's the most gratifying thing about my job because it's the simplest thing you can do, and people are so glad you do it. But also, it's like it's a thing that you can actually fix and you can see. And I swear to God, I used to watch like hours on hours of wax removal videos. The best ones are the ones from India. I swear to God.
Oh my God, their ears are they're dirty though. They are so. Do not fly out that window. My window's open, and there's a screen right here, and this is the second floor. And we usually put a gate up here so she can't fly out. But I took the gate down because it looked ghetto. Anywho, you are absolutely right. The Indian ones are.
They're all the thing is like you don't know half of the time what you're going to find in there. Like one
Have
time
you seen the cockroach one?
That's the one I was gonna say. That's the most popular one. it gets everyone. You're like, yeah, I cannot. Like, how does that happen?
Deanna's gonna throw up.
I don't think I would be able to do that. Yeah.
Well, no, nobody. Cannoli and Juliana are like you're. And then after the earwaxing thing, I went into not pimple pop. Yeah, kind of pimple popping, but the
Okay.
ones those deep plot. They're like the black ones where they just kind of pop out and they look like little rocks.
No.
If there's blood involved in anything of stitching it up, I'm out. I told you, I'm weird.
Oh, all right, good.
Sorry.
You have a better stomach than I do. Every time I look over at Shu, I'm like, why? Who does these? She's like, it's so relaxing. How? Their face looks like pizza already. Why
Well,
would
it
you want extra
depends. It
topping?
depends. I'm very specific on the pimple pot. I do have standards.
Okay. See, I appreciate
do
talk to
have
Shiro. She needs to up her standard because the things that they pick at, geez. Yeah, exactly. Except for thank you. But
Sorry.
Shiro was saying, does your spouse recognize a face or specific body language that occurs when you can't hear? Let's see the face.
I don't know.
No, he
Really?
doesn't see the face because he's usually sitting his friggin' ass on the couch and I'm in the kitchen and he's not looking at me. So when I tell him I can't hear, he's not looking at me. So he can't see my disgust.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Yeah,
he gets-
And it's usually I'm on the phone, so he wouldn't be seeing.
Oh, see? Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god. All right. I will say that she knows my face because I lean in. I lean in like this, and I look at her and I look really lost. Only problem is I tell Shiro every time, like, my top 3 fear is accidentally getting picked up by a swinger group because I said yes to like the key sharing party, and I'm like, what did I say to you? She's like, honey, you lean in, you don't hear so well, and you're blind in one eye, so your depth perception is not great, so you don't know how far you're leaning in. So she knows when to make the lean in face, and I use my blind eye. She's like, oh, he can't hear this one. Okay, I need to take over. That and bacon. If I'm too ashamed to do bacon, if I lean in and give her the blind eye, she's like, okay,
at least you have that. I mean, I can hear Cannoli when I'm sitting next to him. Like if we're sitting next to each other, but once again, I'm reading lips. But if I'm in the kitchen, the TV's blaring, or the best part is when you're in the kitchen and he's over here and he's editing a video of his podcast and it's so freaking clear that you don't know if he's talking to you or if it's the computer. And I keep going, what? He goes, wait, what? And he's like, no, go ahead.
No, he doesn't predict. He does that with the text too, right? Does he talk to text? I swear to God, she'll be like, there are 37 buildings on 2nd floor. I'm like, who the fuck knows about 37? Honey, I'm not talking about you. I'm like, okay. And then she was like, there's dinner in the fridge. And I'm like,
oh, yeah, Tyler is right. I was going to say that. I was going to say what Tyler was talking about the first time baby's here or when they or if they get the cochlear implant. Because I had some friends that are speech therapists and worked with kids that specifically had the cochlear implant. So I learned a little bit being friends with them. And he is right. Those videos, every time.
Yeah.
Okay. I will just let y'all know. Okay. This is what single E.G.O used to do because single E.G.O was,
Did you have your velvet? Wait, did you have the velvet tracksuit and the gold chain?
No, not. Oh no, I did that. I had a red suit. I actually still have it. It's like a ruby red, like full on like suit. That I had. And so what happened was I actually got invited to a Bruno Mars concert and I wore it like.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
So yeah,
that's
what happened. So what happened was like I would say like doctor of audiology. But the thing is like 9 times out of 10 people don't know what that is. It's like, oh, so you mix with the sounds. Like, no, not really. Right. So what I would do, it'd be your own people. Yes, I had magnetic earrings back in the day. Because I couldn't actually.
She is in full form roasting you, isn't she?
Exactly. She needs to know how far I've come. She's like, I need to remind you where you were in case you ever leave. Like, just remember you're gonna go back to that, so I don't leave. But yeah. So what I would do is I would try to explain to some. So since you're dating, I try to put some game on it. They're like, audiology mixes sounds. Like, well, no, not exactly. I'm a doctor of audiology. I diagnose disorders of the outer, middle, and inner ear. It's like, hey. You ever seen a child smile at their mom the first time they hear? Yeah, I do that.
That was your pickup line?
Yes. Yes,
Damn.
it was. It was. Yeah.
It's
I
pretty
didn't
smooth.
even get that far with Shiro. She was like, "Okay, that's cool."
You got nothing.
Yeah, I was like, I'm dating Forrest Gump right now. This is ridiculous. So yeah, ironically, the only person that didn't fall for it was Shiro.
And you married
So
her. So she's
I did. Well,
listen.
so this is the thing. Like she said on her profile, she was in food services. So automatically, I thought she was a lunch lady. So I'm like, you know
Oh,
what?
shit.
We're having. Yeah, I'm like, who works for a Fortune 500 company and in the accounting department and puts food services and expects me to figure that out? Like I was like, man, she must look great without a hairnet because this is where we're going with things now. So yes, oh yeah, and Exhibitor knows that the red pants and the black shirt. Yes, I wear an extra medium black golf shirt and red pants. Yes, it was a whole thing again.
What shoes? What kind of shoes?
They were like some dress shoes from Aldo. Like, but I'd
Okay.
had these for like 5 or 6 years. Oh yeah, it was a complete.
So you pimped yourself out for a Bruno Mars concert.
Yes.
Did you say extra medium?
Extra medium? Yes.
What is that even? Is that a schmedium?
It's above a schmedium, but it's
Okay.
like, I mean, it's still tight. I mean, I know you're wearing it because it's tight, but it fits. You know, it's extra medium because I am by no means a large at all, but just like extra medium. Yeah.
I don't
do me
think
like
I've ever
Mexican.
purchased an extra medium anything, but good luck with that.
I all of my clothes were extra medium for a large part. Like, you know, it was a whole thing. Everyone would know that a shirt's a little too small, but it's like, well, hey, he works out, so I guess he gets away with it.
Oh,
you know, so
you had to show the guns. I gotcha. All right.
Yes, that, you know, was like there was a lot that actually went into the whole look.
Why can I ask? Why is Cannoli badgering us from his own stream? He's on his own show. He's being rude.
Can you, asshole? Okay, sorry.
Thank you. let me. I'm gonna tell. Why did my Alexa, shut up? You know, nobody asked him from downstairs. Of course, he gets the big fancy setup.
I am sorry, Art Snow. I use that as a personal trip down single ego lane. Wow, that was more sentimental. Wow, that was actually beautiful, and that's why their things are important. He said, "Checking in, can you hear me?" Such a jerk. Don't co-sign this man, Shiro. Don't do not don't do that. Yes, please, sir.
He goes, sorry, I had to.
I'm just like, man, I fall for that every time. I was like, wait, are we not loud enough in the other? Wait a minute. Okay.
This is no thing for you, E.G.O. Don't take offense to this, but he better sleep with one eye open. Cannoli.
That's fair.
For that comment.
That's fair. I that's part of that's the weird thing with our sleeping habits too, is because she sleeps on the right side. We always check to see if the other one's there. So like when I hit each other. Like...
Oh, that's cute.
That is cute.
Yeah,
no, Cannoli's not multitasking. Cannoli's being a shithead. He doesn't know how to multitask, because if he did, he could clean a friggin' toilet and take out the trash. He asked for it, popping in on my stream. I mean, our stream, but you know what I mean. Look at him. He's still going. I see him. He's on the screen, on my TV right there. What is he, bored?
Oh my God, y'all ridiculous.
You know what I should do? I should pop in on their stream and go, Cannoli's chatting with us. Is he not contributing to your show?
It's like, sir, participate in your own stream, okay?
Sir, leave me alone. I'm doing my own thing now. You do yours. You don't see Copa. Copa's not in here being abusive.
So, I mean, so with that, we're kind of going, wrapping everything up. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. It has been amazing. Before we leave out, Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, Jenna, do you guys want to plug your channels or any other socials that you're on?
I don't have a channel, but I can talk about Copa Catania's and his book, which I don't have near me, but check him out at Copa Catania.
All right, we got the plug there. Go ahead.
We plug his book all the time. You can actually see if you log into a different stream, and I'm not going to name names. It's behind stupid Cannoli right now. Anywho, so I'm starting to do some things. I'm gonna be on what did Copa say? Did you see that?
Stay away. Stay away. We're farting in here.
Okay. I like it.
Right
I like it. So anyway, so this Friday is the launch of we rebranded our podcast on Cannoli Sasquatch's channel. It's now going to be the Cannoli Connection. And it's Cannoli Sasquatch and myself. And we're going to be rotating guests this Friday. We have Joker Voice on. And then on Saturday, I am doing the 8750 podcast with Yeti and Vex Electronica, Nicole and Kelsey, I think. I'm sorry if I got those names wrong. This is all new to me. But I'm going to do that. And then Tuesday, Jana, you do have things. Aren't you?
I do have things. You're
you
right.
Why don't you talk about it so you can on Tuesday?
Yes, we are going to be ranking some stuff with Tyler. Tyler the Redbeard on Tuesday on We Rank Stuff.
We don't know what we're ranking yet because we're a bunch of women and we cannot make up our minds as usual.
Can't decide.
So we'll be figuring out what we want to rank. And then, so you can find me every Friday on Mr. Cannoli's channel on his podcast show. And then on Friday, March 3rd, will be the launch of my new podcast called Truly the Female Perspective. And my co-host is Shiro, which is Mrs. Dr. E.G.O. and Vex Electronica. And I would love for Jana to join us if she's comfortable. She is always welcome. I would love to have her on. So we will see. Tune in on March 3rd to at Cannoli Sasquatch. I think it's the whole thing on YouTube. I don't remember. It's the whole thing because I know on Twitter it's only at Cannoli Sass. I was able to get the whole name. I don't know what his deal is. So check us out on YouTube and come March 3rd at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time and see if Jana shows up.
Yeah. Also, I need to make sure this is you when I present this, but I was going to say the one thing I did find with Jana is this yours right here?
Yes, we have that book.
Okay, I was going to say, why? You don't have anything. Ma'am, you have a coloring book, okay?
She does.
Guys, check this out.
It's not appropriate for work, y'all.
That makes it even better, guys, okay? But yeah, I saw this, I was like, wait. I was like, this is definitely her. I was like, I want to make sure, but what do you mean?
I'm saving it for next Christmas. I'm going to color it next Christmas, and I'm going to send it to all my relatives.
Yo, that's a Christmas stream.
Yeah, it is. It is. We should all color. We should just do a live show and color Jana's snowballs.
I'm down.
Guys, just go ahead and go. She is Amazon, verified. So
that's
check
right.
her
She
out
sure
on there.
is.
Buy the adult coloring book. When we have a Christmas stream at some point, we're gonna have to have Jana judges our inappropriate coloring books.
I love that. Let's do that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Jana, I'm writing that down now.
I wish I had it. We have it downstairs by Copa's book. I could have held it up, but it's downstairs.
I was like, I just wanted to make sure I bought it. I was like, there isn't another one. I just have to make sure. Not all Janas are alike, but it sounds pretty close.
That's her.
Yeah.
That's
all
me.
right. Yes, definitely check that book out. But yeah, I know that I got a few streams coming up tomorrow, as well as our Heroes No Capes podcast on Saturday. Guys, thank you so much for coming through and spending time with us and having us talk to you guys about hearing loss and processing disorders. If you guys ever have any future follow-up questions, just DM us or email us. Mine's leftiego@yahoo.com. So have any questions or anything else like that you guys want to bring up, just let us know. Miss Cannoli Sasquatch, Jana, if you guys want to stay backstage for a few minutes, I'll go ahead and go over stuff with you guys as well. But again, guys, thank you so much. And as soon as I figure out how to take us out, we are out of here.
Bye.